Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
How you guys going?
Well, I'm good. How are you?
I was actually talking to you, Cam.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a general question to everyone.
It was a general question, but then I realised there was a bit of a delay, so the only person who can answer me in real time is you.
Well, that's fine, mate. Welcome, everybody, to the first Australian Artist in Germany Words and Music event.
And welcome to my home studio. I've done quite a few live streams from here already, but it's nice to do it with another human being for once.
Yeah, I'm human, that's for sure.
Yeah, last time I checked.
Today, we are going to perform this plus this, which was a book and music project that we did together a few years ago.
Yeah, it was a very cool project. Some of you guys would have certainly heard me play the songs from One Hand Clapping before. And I think this is only the second time that we've performed it like this. When the first time was the book launch in Hamburg a few years ago. And yeah, I did a streaming show with the songs from One Hand Clapping a couple of months ago. And after that, Cam said we should just do one together. So
Yeah, here we are on the sofa.
here we are in the hot seat. But Cam's actually taken the initiative to start an event series out of this. So would you maybe want to mention about this is the first event of a series of events?
Well, hopefully. So we've got some artists lined up for the next couple of months, and we'll say a bit more about that later. So we're hoping to do one event every month at least until Christmas and possibly into the new year, with all donations going to the Indigenous Literacy Foundation. And the link for that you can find in the comments or in the chat.
I will put a link to the donation page a bit later. Yeah, but it's a great cause. It's a great initiative. They investing in, or their focus is, of course, bringing out books to Indigenous communities. And we thought, considering this is a spoken word event about Rowan and Eris, we thought the charity was very appropriate.
It would be, and we've had plenty of support from the ILF and also from the Australian Embassy.
On that note,
Hi from Berlin, and welcome to everyone who's joining us today for a premiere of a series of online words and music events showcasing Australian artists here in Germany. Hi, my name is Josh Knope, and I'm a diplomat here at the Australian Embassy in Berlin. And on behalf of the Embassy, I'd like to say welcome and to acknowledge this wonderful initiative by a couple of Australian-based creatives, Campbell Jefferys and Joel Havea, who are based in Hamburg. And this is a great chance for us to enjoy some live reading and music, but in a different format, which is a wonderful response to the difficult situation we find ourselves in at the moment with COVID-19. I actually used to be a musician myself for many years back in Melbourne before I moved to Canberra and changed careers. So I understand the amount of effort that can go into an event like this and the difficulty that can come with organising it at times. So for that reason, I really respect the initiative to respond to what is an unusual circumstance. Now, Australia has an amazingly rich and diverse music and literary culture, and one that's reflected here in Germany. For example, last year, Australia was the focus country of the Hamburg Reeperbahn Festival, in which 17 different acts performed and were able to showcase the strength of our industry and also the international success that Australia is known for. But this year, of course, is different, and in what is a difficult situation for many people in Germany, Australia, and across the world, we are reminded of just how hard it is, in particular, for people in performing arts, which is why this initiative by Campbell and Joel is such a great idea, and we really take off our hats to them. On behalf of the Embassy, I'd like to thank them again for their initiative and for their generosity in putting this on. I understand that today's event is free, but of course you can make a donation if you would like to the Indigenous Literacy Fund, which is an initiative lifting literacy levels in remote communities back in Australia. So thank you again, Campbell and Joel, and without any further ado, let's get started with the show. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for that, Josh. Fantastic.
live cross there, direct from Berlin.
So, what is the book about? Well, it's a very simple story. It's a road trip novel. Rowan, my main character, goes in search of the daughter he didn't know he had, Eris, little chaos girl. and Rowan is a musician, and through the course of the story, he gets inspired and starts to write music within the book. And so I thought that this might be interesting if that music was actually created. So I asked Joel to write those songs in character.
Yeah, Cam approached me with the idea, and the book was pretty much almost finished, I think.
It was, yes.
Yeah, it was in the final editing stage, and so he gave me a copy of the book and asked me to write kind of the skeleton of these songs was already there, like the song title or the story or even the first few chords sometimes. You also play guitar, don't you, Cam?
I do.
Yeah.
Badly.
Are you going to join me today?
No. I'm going to watch with admiration.
Okay, that's also nice. Yeah, so it was a really cool project for me to, I guess, write with some sort of framework, which isn't the way that I would usually approach writing songs.
So the best way is just to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to read sections from the book that correspond with the songs that were written, and with each of the readings and songs, there'll be a song title as well. So it's not too hard to follow along, but we hope it'll be enjoyable.
And make sure you say hello in the comments. We're expecting to get a lot of viewers from Australia, especially Melbourne. Shout out to the Melburnian peeps in lockdown. But Antje is just checking in from France, so we do have some Europeans in the house too.
You know, we're all in this together. So, we're comfortable on the sofa, and we hope you are comfortable wherever you are, feeling good, staying healthy. So, I think we'll just begin. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
All right, let's start. 2 sticks. I took a CD from the box and went outside. I stood on the small patch of grass that was our front lawn until Churchill saw me. He was up on the roof with his laptop and headset. Since I'd come back, he'd spent most mornings working from up there, which I considered a very positive development, as he was now on top of the house rather than enclosed inside it. Our roof was only slightly slanted, which made it easy to sit on. He didn't even need his grey hoodie anymore. Today, he wore a hat and sunglasses and was shirtless. What was in the box? He asked. Gwyneth Paltrow's head? Well, you can keep your movie references today. I held the CD and waved it in the air. This is real. No way! Put it on. And bring the speakers outside. We want the world to hear this. Back inside, I placed one speaker in the open living room window and the other just outside the door, as far as the cable would allow. I got the CD playing and returned to the lawn where I sat down. Up on the roof, I saw that Churchill had put his laptop aside and was lying on the tiles with his hands behind his head. I didn't think I'd ever seen him so comfortable and content in the outside world. He even had one up on me, as I wasn't brave enough to climb the ladder and join him on the roof. The album began with the barely perceptible tapping of 2 sticks on the track of the same name. It had been Charlie's idea to lead off with this song because of its slow-building, attention-grabbing intro. Through the speakers, the tapping got louder and more incessant. Then the guitar came in, clear and crisp. I heard myself sing the opening lines. Alone on a beach, far from ourselves and far from sight. She took 2 sticks, put them to work, and lit up the night.
Alone on a beach, far from ourselves and far from sight. She took 2 sticks, put them together and lit up the night. All she had was 2 sticks and a little kindling boat eventually got us far. All she had was 2 sticks And I was thinking in that moment she was a star. She was a star. Was living a life more trapped than free. I was stuck inside. She took my hands and walked across the sand with me. Let's sleep outside. I was 2 sticks and a little kindling boat eventually got us far. She had was 2 sticks, and I was thinking in that moment she was a star. Grab my guitar and hold that chord brings me back, but only so far. It's clarity, memories lack, but it's okay to run away in my mind anytime I need. Oh, she had was 2 sticks and a little kindling boat eventually got us far. Oh, she had was 2 sticks, and I was thinking in that moment she was a star. 2 sticks and a little kindling boat eventually got us far. She had was 2 sticks, and I was thinking in that moment she was a star. Oh, she had was 2 sticks. Oh, she had was 2 sticks.
Oh, that was great. I feel so special, like you're playing just for me. It's so nice.
Oh, no, there's also other people watching. But thanks very much, Cam. I think Sadia's saying hi from THCC.
Ah, cricket player. Gotta love that.
Oh, Cam actually is very involved with the cricket community here in Germany.
As you would think that cricket is such a popular sport in Germany, but yes, that's true.
Believe it or not, how many cricket teams are there in?
Oh, I think there's about 100 clubs in the whole of Germany. I think.
What about in Hamburg? There's a few.
Hamburg, I think there's 5 or 6.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
He also tried to get me to play tomorrow, but is there still room on the team?
No. Selection committee says no.
Okay. Well, I'm used to that. That basically sums up my cricket career.
Okay, so moving on. The book takes Rowan on a road trip through the USA. So quite a few of these readings are set in various American locations, but it goes into places of America that most people don't go to, like Utah, Idaho, Oklahoma. So not necessarily the main tourist spots. So if you hear obscure American cities referenced, then don't be surprised. So, Warm River. I jogged down the road, my backpack bouncing, keen to leave this place. I wondered what it would be like at night. There was a short bridge with no barriers. Signs said, Warm River, and no dumping. The road was empty. I started up the hill, looking behind me to check if the general of Warm River and her 2 little corporals might be coming in pursuit. They weren't, and I considered myself foolish for thinking such a thing. Walking backwards, I looked down on the town's lone house and the river. She dumped the body in Warm River. I made some notes in my journal, writing as I walked. Picked up the vagabond and dumped his cold body in the Warm River. I liked that, the cold body in the Warm River. I couldn't hear a chord progression, but I had a sense of how the song might work lyrically, and from there I might get a melody to fit. Once around the first corner, and with the house no longer in view, I started to relax. The woman wasn't crazy, just lonely. She lives at a lonely bend of the river, waiting for someone to come. I wondered why the woman would choose to live in such isolation, then force that isolation onto her children as well. She thought she was doing the right thing, but could really have been doing all sorts of damage to Henry and Jack. Long-term damage.
She dumped his cold body in a warm river, rode off the back of a road pickup. She really wanted company, but he just really wanted to go. She lived at the lonely bend of a river, warm by name, but a cold deep within her. He really just wanted to go, and she said no. He was a simple vagabond, satisfied to roam the streets on which he slept on. And drifting through a life and never really truly present bottom was his vice. But still he was a living, willing man, somebody who was just dealt a bad hand. He lived at the lonely bend of a river, warm by name, but a cold deep within her. He really just wanted to go, and she said no. She always looked outside. I wondered why no one ever stopped in to say hi. But on that fateful night, she saw him stumbling in the street, trying to hitch a ride. So she went and asked him to come in, if he wouldn't like a beer or maybe gin. So they had a drink or 10, talked about the weather and their lives from way back when. But he felt something was wrong. Said, I think it's time that I've been moving on. She snapped, oh no, you won't believe it. I'm always by myself, nobody cares if I am breathing. How dare you disrespect me like this? She was blindly seething, and before he had a chance to see it, she picked up her bread knife and took away his. She dumped his cold body in a warm river, rode off the back of a road pickup. She really wanted company, but he just really wanted to go. She lived at the lonely bend of a river, warm by name, but a cold deep within her. He really just wanted to go, and she said no.
No, that was fantastic. You know, when I was writing the book, that's exactly how the song sounded in my head.
Oh, really? I'm glad I could do it justice.
Perfect. Lovely. It's nice, isn't it? The cold body in the warm river. It's a really nice.
It's a great lyric. It's a great lyric. We just want to say hi to some people.
Please do.
Kate Rigby is saying great stuff, guys. Thanks from Munich. I thought she might have been a friend of yours. No?
Perhaps.
Just say yes. Sonia says hi, watching from Holland. Hi to your mum. Sonia, my mum, is also watching. So I should say hi to my mum. Thanks for the applause, Tracy. Any other messages you want to send out there to your peeps, Cam?
No, just hello. And if you haven't noticed already from my fantastic Perth shirt, Dingo Flower, I'm a Perth boy. Joel is
Melbourne boy.
Yes. And we both live here in Germany.
We're Hamburg boys these days.
I wouldn't say we're hamburgers, are we?
Oh, Val Hamburger.
So let's move on. Chasing a Shadow. With Nikki around, I'd done well busking and written some songs. Was she an inspiration? Or was it America? Being here, being awake, seeing and experiencing so many things. Churchill was right that Bevan wasn't following us, but it had been interesting to imagine that he was, and putting that story into lyrics and chords had resulted in a song I was proud of. The sensation of chasing a shadow, trying to grab something you once let get away, that was powerful and meaningful. The D major running so smoothly to the B minor, following the shadow with only himself to blame. It was about yearning, about hope. A man coming to terms with the mistakes he made and trying to set them right, and the man wanting to change, to become better. Nikki liked the song, even if she hadn't picked up on her connection to it. Interpreted another way, the song could quite easily have been about me, chasing shadows of my own, regretting past behaviours and hoping to turn myself into a better Rowan. I hadn't said this to Churchill, but I wasn't sure I wanted to find Nola in Eris anymore. And that could have been why I had asked Nikki to come along. It was attraction, the desire to stop chasing shadows and touch someone real. But it was also distraction, a reason to maybe stop looking for something I wasn't really sure I wanted to find. I thought of the little red-headed girl outside the school in Austin, and how at the time I didn't want her to be Eris. I couldn't picture myself holding that girl's hand, carrying her bag and walking her to school. How was I supposed to be some girl's father? I still felt so much like a boy myself. To Eris, I was a shadow. Maybe she considered me something frightening, a giant monster with hair like fire, the last thing she would want to see emerge from the shadows.
The D major going to the B minor. Following the shadow with only himself to blame. Though it really mattered, he just thought it was a game. A game he played so many times, but now it's at the end. Wishing he could just restart again. Far away, echoes stay. He's still afraid. Lost control and doesn't know was his fault. Following the shadow with only himself to blame. He is not fooling himself. He knows it's not the same, but maybe there's a silver lining. He just needs to breathe, and chasing shadows is the way to see. Far away, echoes stay. He's still afraid. Lost control, doesn't know was his fault, but suddenly sees it and cannot believe it, how he acted, and the shadows are gone. He's not afraid.
That was really nice. That was really nice. That was actually the first song that was kind of came out of the book, and we put the lyrics of that song on the back cover. So, you know, when you pick up a book in the bookshop and you've turned to the back cover and you read, oh, this is what the book's about. Well, this book actually has a lyric sheet for Chasing a Shadow, and the lyrics are fantastic because it's basically the summary of what well, not really the summary of the book, what the book's about, but gives you a good sense of the mood and theme of the book as Rowan traverses America trying to find this little girl and trying to find her mother as well, and he feels like he spends the whole time chasing shadows.
It's I think that was probably the first song that I wrote as well from this project. Is it the first song that he writes in the book?
Well, it's the first one he likes.
Oh, okay. I know that feeling. Yeah, Rowan as well. Just so you can guys have a visual, you have a visual out there. He's like a 7 foot tall. Is he 7 foot?
He's 2 meters.
Oh, so he's like 6'6". 6'6". And with big bushy red hair.
Yeah, that's why he's referred to as having hair like fire, hair the color of fire. Someone says this to him, that his red hair looks like fire.
Yeah, so maybe just close your eyes and picture a big Ed Sheeran.
Okay, moving on.
I just want to say what's up to the Field family watching from Sweden. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Heartland Gypsy. It was just past 6 a.m. in Perth. I wanted to talk to Churchill, so I sent him a message to see if he was awake. I stared at the underside of the top bunk and thought about the last 10 days. Since Tulsa, Churchill had been angry. Not yelling and screaming, which wasn't his way, but simmering. He was angry about Nicky, who he thought was baggage. He'd enlisted someone in the States, a private detective, to track down Nola. The first lead had been a rental car in Tulsa. Churchill booked me a ticket on the train, and I was glad to leave Austin. When checking out of the hostel, I saw Nicky crying in the kitchen. I went straight up to her and told her to get her stuff and come with me. She had just a backpack, which was unexpected, as I thought she'd be more high maintenance, and a battered guidebook that was a good 20 years out of date and full of incorrect information. Escaping Austin together, leaving her boyfriend behind, and catching the Heartland Flyer seemed like a crazy and romantic thing to do. We both didn't think twice about it. Train delays meant we got as far as Oklahoma City, where we spent a glorious first night together in a hotel room that 2 afternoons of busking in Austin paid for. We stayed in bed until checkout the next morning and didn't get to Tulsa until the afternoon. We were too late anyway.
Waiting for a long time, trying to find my path now. Couldn't make up my mind, I couldn't make up my mind. Had all these people yelling at me, needed some silence, some serenity. So much soul searching, trying to figure out where I was going and what that way was about. Yeah, and then it hit me. I felt so free when I realized I'm just a heartland gypsy. Heartland gypsy, heartland gypsy.
I feel so free. I can't deny this gypsy hiding me. I was so busy, it's the sad truth. Oh, thought I somehow had to pay my dues, but don't need no letter. I had realized that money's not a fair trade for my time. Heartland gypsy, Heartland gypsy. Finally, it all makes sense to me. Heartland gypsy, I felt so free. I can't deny this gypsy heart in me. You see, it took years to set me free, but finally I'm breaking through the shackles. Ignore those hidden ghosts and focus on the most important thing, and that, my friend, is living. Heartland gypsy, Heartland gypsy. Finally, it all makes sense to me. Heartland gypsy, I felt so free. I can't deny this gypsy heart in me. Heartland gypsy, Heartland gypsy. Finally, it all makes sense to me. Heartland gypsy, I felt so free. I can't deny this gypsy heart in me.
Fantastic, mate. You know what I love about that song? It really sounds like you're sitting in a very, very slow train. It's got, you know what I mean? It's got this kind of, you're rocking through, you know, you're on this train rocking through middle America.
Well, that definitely fits with the story, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, the Heartland Flyer is a real train that goes from Austin to Oklahoma City.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's true. It's a real thing. I bet it goes slow too, given America's infrastructure.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. You've been on it, haven't you?
I haven't been on that train,
Oh,
no.
okay,
But
okay.
I've been on American trains. No fun.
No comment.
But it was a really great song, mate. Great groove. I heard a rumor that riff was lying around in the closet
Well,
for gathering dust for a while.
The rest of the songs were brand new compositions, but yeah, that song was actually an old song that I wrote back in Glen Waverley. Anyone from Melbourne will know where that is.
Yeah, Waverley, woo!
Glen Waverley, mate. You don't want to get it mixed up with Mount Waverley. Yeah, so I wrote that song. I just had a verse that, you know, do you ever have that with like book ideas where you write? I've never actually asked you this, but where you write maybe a chapter or two, and then think, this idea sucks, and just let it sit in a drawer for 10, 15 years.
That sounds like the daily writing progress. Actually, that's what happens every single day. So you write something and you just think it's garbage.
But I mean, how often do you go back to it and, you know, maybe write something out, use it? Like, do you go back and...
Or you might go back and get one sentence out of it. Or you might go back and get a mood or an idea, or something might be hidden in there that you need to find.
Okay.
So, and then it takes you in a different direction, and then it turns into something gold.
Okay. So it does happen where you've had stuff that you've been sitting on for years.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know. I think you're the first friend I ever had that's an author, so it's good to pick your
Don't
brain.
get any more.
No? Why not? You're
Let's
alright.
keep it as one.
All right.
I want to be unique.
You are unique, Cam. You're special. Anybody who thinks Cam is special, please write it in the comments.
Oh, don't do that. No, you're inciting damage. You watch all those, horrible emoticons suddenly appear in the comment section.
No, I think we're getting a lot of clapping emoticons.
Yeah, it's nice. And hi to everybody as well. I can see a couple more of my cricketing buddies, Abby and Samuel. Samuel, a fantastic composer in his own right. Also an Australian living here in Hamburg. So great that everybody's tuning in and enjoying it. Hopefully enjoying it. I think so.
Well, we haven't seen any angry face emojis yet, but now that I've said that, the floodgates may.
Maybe America's listening.
It's a bit early for them.
Okay, I'll keep it clean. Brand new start. I put Charlie's gloves on. They were warm and slightly damp. I picked up the chopped wood that was on the ground and placed it in the wheelbarrow. It took a bit of jimmying to get the heavy axe out. I placed a sawn stump on the block and started chopping. As a city boy, I had no idea what I was doing. I tried to cut the stump in half, but the axe only got stuck in the middle. While I'd never swung an axe, I knew a lot about wood and how to work with it. So I cut around the edges, cutting with the grain and making the stump small enough to slice in half. The wood was dry and cut easily when I cut it the right size. The axe was also very sharp. I started to get the hang of it and swung the axe with more confidence. The wheelbarrow full, I took this to the barn and stacked the wood. With the next batch, I found a rhythm, working the edges and cutting each stump to the heart. I also started to hear something. The sound the axe made when it struck the wood and cut through. A crisp, clean smack, like the hit on a tight snare drum. It gave me a beat. Repeating this beat helped me to hear a song. It had a simple progression. 3 chords, all majors, something like G, D, C or AED, played big and loud. The smack of the wood coming through between the chords. You're walking in circles around me and cut to the heart, cut to the heart. The wood piled up around the chopping block as I tried to maintain the rhythm. You're leaving me in pieces, no loose ends, and want a brand new start. The song's narrative quickly took shape. The you was a man leaving his girlfriend or wife and heading off on a journey to find himself, to find bigger meaning. Or it could have been the woman leaving the man, which I thought could be more interesting. I recalled my mother on that highway near Collie, driving away from my father, leaving the two of us out there, and Dad preferring to walk. And I thought of myself, hitchhiking to West Yellowstone, plotting my own course. Then there was Nikki, back in Brisbane, free from me, and hopefully of Bevan as well. All these examples of people splitting up and finding their own way, better off than before. But my journey wasn't about escaping people. I was travelling towards people, not away from them. I wanted all my roads to lead to Nola and Eris. I reached for the next stump and saw that I'd chopped all the wood.
just changing locations. How's that? Maybe down a little bit. Maybe a bit more down. Doesn't it? All right. Brand new start.
You walk in circles around me again. You cut to the heart. You're leaving me in pieces and all loose ends. I want a brand new start. I was tired of waiting for you, not waiting any longer. So guess that means goodbye, goodbye is what that means. It's unbelievable I stayed so long, but hope that you would change. With a heavy heart I'm moving on, a brand new start today. You grew to be a stranger, back to where it started. So guess that means goodbye. Oh, guess that means goodbye. Oh, guess that means goodbye.
Oh, thanks, Joel. That was absolutely awesome. I think we should probably stick to music and reading rather than being these technical people moving stuff around. That was like the worst camera move in the history of live streaming, I think. But we managed to eventually get it in position. I'm really
Don't be so
sorry.
hard on yourself.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for that mega close-up that we all saw of my hand just before Joel's played the piano. But lovely song, mate. Lovely song.
Thanks a lot, Cam. That was actually probably the most difficult song to write.
Why was that? Are you saying the material wasn't good enough?
The material's great. It was just that, as I said before, you'd given me the skeleton of the song, and that skeleton was very specific. It needed to be 3 chords, and it needed to be. I had that like the wood beat. And if you listen to the recorded version, Leo Lazar, my drummer, who I recorded and produced these songs with, he came up with this beat. I think the idea was there was that Eddie Vedder song from Into the Wild that has this very sparse kind of just the snare drum beat. And so I showed Leo that reference.
What do you mean? You didn't go out and chop wood to make the beat? What's up with that?
No, we did try. We did experiment with a few different sounds, but I mean, we got quite experimental. I think on Dinosaur Jam, Leo was playing some cutlery with brushes and and with two sticks. We was he was like using some scratching sounds on the snare.
Fantastic.
At the start, but yeah, and so the skeleton for this song was very specific, and I just remember coming to you at one point saying, "Oh, I've done all the songs, but we can't do a brand new start because I just can't get it. It doesn't sound good." And you're like, "No, it has to. We need brand new start. we need it." So I remember Leo and I recorded these songs in like 2 or 3 days because I was going to India and timing was critical, and I was still trying to play it on the guitar, and it's just one of those things that happens in the studio sometimes. Is we just decided that we would try it on piano, and then it worked so much better on piano. So that's the version that we used.
So that's really, really, really nice. Really, really nice. So you just mentioned Dinosaur Jam, which is next. So
does that mean that you're going to play some cutlery?
Let me get the spoons. Dinosaur Jam. Churchill helped me stay awake. We sat in the kitchen, and he asked about my trip. What about this drug run, Rowan? I could sense you were holding back in the car. It's funny, Church. When I think about it now, it's kind of a good memory. But at the time, I was shitting myself. The dope I picked up was in jam jars, with actual jam stacked on top. You know what I mean? In each box, the bottom row was all dope, and the top was all jam. Shelley, the supplier, she said this made it harder for sniffer dogs to pick up. And Shelley is the perfect name for a dope dealer. And she was totally normal. Not what I expected at all. And she gave me some advice for the drive back so I could avoid the police. And? Did you avoid them? I was a nervous wreck for the first couple of hours. I was looking all around for police cars and highway patrol. The car was full of boxes, and all the drivers and passengers looked at me when they passed. Once I crossed the border from Utah to Wyoming, then I started to relax. I even enjoyed it a bit. It's a beautiful country. Churchill stood up and put the kettle on. I've got a feeling something bad's about to happen. Tea? Yeah, thanks. And you're right. On the way to Jackson, there was some kind of forest fire, and the highway was closed. You should have seen it. I go around a corner, and then there's this blockade of police cars and emergency vehicles. I really thought they were all there for me. Churchill laughed. So you turned around? Oh, I couldn't. There were cars behind me, and cars driving back the other way. All I could do was go right up to the police cars like everyone else. Then I get there, and one of them flags me down. The kettle boiled and switched off. Churchill got up to make the tea. That's no good. But you're still here, sitting with me, so I'm thinking nothing bad happened. You wouldn't believe it, church. The cop comes up to me and I lower the window, trying my best to look innocent, but I was seriously sweating. He asks me where I'm headed and I tell him Bozeman. He says the highway's closed and I have to go to Idaho, following the highway next to Snake River. That all sounds so brilliantly exotic. Driving to Bozeman on the Snake River Highway, almost like a song, that is. Yeah. Anyway, the cop saw all the boxes and asked me what I was doing. I said I was delivering jam for a friend. This wasn't completely a lie, but I thought it came out like one. And he gave me this suspicious look, like some typical Hollywood cop, and he said, "You got any rhubarb jam? My wife, she's pregnant, and she's just craving everything with rhubarb at the moment." No way. Did you have it? I had no idea if I did. I had to pull over and get out so I could open all the boxes. There I was, surrounded by police with a car full of dope, trying to find a jar of rhubarb jam. Churchill laughed again. But I gotta say, the cop was really nice. He even tried to help, but I kept positioning myself so only I could open a box. Anyway, turned out there was rhubarb in there, and it was, I think, in the last box I opened. He took 3 jars and paid for them. I couldn't bring myself to tell him there was dope in it. She puts dope in the jam? What kind of impact is that going to have on the guy's baby?
Very good question. Driving on open highways with Mary on my mind. There's no such thing as a fair trade, and that sure is true this time. Oh, I thought dinosaurs were extinct, but maybe I'll have to rethink Colorado. But what do I know? Stuck in a jam, a delivery man for a day. How did I end up in this mess? It's too late. 'Cause here I'm landed. I'll take my chances on Highway 68. Time for the dinosaur emojis. Piece of cake and some coffee, then I'm on bound. Get last minute directions from the prettiest girl in town. Then turn back on Triceratops Road. Can't wait to just quickly get home. Colorado, I gotta go. Stuck in a jam, a delivery man for a day. How did I end up in this mess? It's too late. It's too late. 'Cause here I've landed. I'll take my chances on Highway 68. Leave it to fate. Whoa, life's a risk we all take. The highway, the song, eventually end. But I travel on and do intend
Wyoming sands. Here I landed. I take my chances on highway, but here I've landed. I take my chances on highway 68.
It's very hard to whistle and laugh at the same time.
That was great, man. Everyone's probably wondering what the hell is up with this dinosaur thing. Where did because I didn't mention anything about dinosaurs in the text, but the song is called Dinosaur Jam, and the whole point behind that, and thank you for the dinosaur emojis. That's awesome. Is that he picks up the dope in a city called Dinosaur, which is actually there is this place called Dinosaur in Colorado. So that was where he does. That's where the dope run starts, and hence Dinosaur Jam.
Somebody just wrote in the comments, Dinosaur Cam.
I'm not that old. Come on.
Was it? Or did I yeah, it was Abinard. He wrote Dinosaur Cam.
Thanks, Abby. It's
So,
not about that drop catch, is it? Most possibly.
I think Rachel's just checked in. Hi, Rachel. I heard great things about your gig the other day from the man sitting next to me.
Which is a wonderful segue, actually, because the next event happening on October 10 is with Rachel Snow and Tim McMillan. We'll be broadcasting live, doing songs and words and music and violins and wonderful guitars. So if you are around on October 10, we'll be doing some more promotion towards that date. It would be really good to have everybody tune in.
On that note, I think we're just before the last song. I just wanted to post a link to, there you go. If you feel like subscribing to my channel, that would be great. And we also wanted to post a link to the fundraising link for today. So just click on these two links and please give generously.
Yeah, it's a wonderful cause. A wonderful cause. So this will be the last song, and we really hope that you've enjoyed the show. This has been something very new for us, so we hope that it's been an enjoyable thing, combining the words and the music, and yeah, donate, watch the other shows, buy books, listen to music.
Yeah, support the arts. I mean, as all of you know, it's a very tough time for us all. The performing arts community is one of the hardest hit sectors, and I'm sure most of you guys during lockdown have been consuming lots of art, watching TV and reading books and listening to music. So, yeah, the arts has never really been more important at a time like this.
I mean, it's times like this, or times like these, when art is more important than ever. You know, it helps people get through difficult times. You know, watching TV shows, watching films, listening to music, reading books. This is exactly what helps people get through tough times, isn't it?
I agree, and even though many governments out there probably don't agree with.
Don't make me censor you.
No. I mean, Germany's been okay, but yeah, let's not get political, because otherwise you guys might start tuning out.
So here we go with the last one. Still Afternoon.
Just before we start, Cam, where can everybody find you if they want to find some more of your books?
Oh, they're everywhere. You can buy them online, Amazon. They're also available as ebooks for Kindles. And if you're, looking for a bargain, the publisher makes the ebooks free on the 13th of every month. So tomorrow you can get all the books for free as an ebook.
Oh wow! So where would one do that?
Amazon.de or Amazon.com or Amazon.com.au. They're only for Kindle. But on the 13th of every month, all the books from Ripple Books, publisher of this one, they make them free on the 13th of the month.
Okay.
How kind is that?
That's amazing. And your website is ripplemusic.com?
Ripplemedia.com,
Ripplemedia.
3 Ps. But, you know, we're not really here to promote ourselves. We're here to read and play music.
No. I
ourselves.
just wanted to know. I'm sure the people out there would also be interested as well. I'll put a link to Cam's website right now, ripplemedia.com. Everybody's getting stuck into you from take a break from dropped catches, Dinosaur Cam.
Oh dear.
Is it? You told me you were the star player of the team.
I am not the star player of the team. Not at all.
The truth comes out in the live stream.
No, there was a day when I was a star basketball player, but those days are well behind me. So, cricket, I'm happy if I can just get the right clothes on when I'm playing. So, last one.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, so here we go. Still afternoon. I climbed into the tray, using the rear wheel to get a step up. There was a blue tarp held down by bits of wood, covering something that just about filled the tray. I stepped around it, took my backpack off, and sat down with my back against the cab's rear window, which had a gun rack on the inside with 3 rifles. When we started moving, the wind rustled the tarp, lifting it in places. There was an animal underneath, a large deer. I lifted the tarp a little, expecting a mess, and there was. Blood was pooled around the animal's slit gut. The 2 men had emptied the deer's insides before loading it, probably so it would be easier to carry. I'd never seen a deer before, and here I was, a metre from a dead one, its eyes open. This innocent beast would perhaps feed these 2 men and their families tonight, which was a way for me to justify what they'd done. As with people hunting kangaroo in Australia's outback, the locals here hunted deer in their own wilderness. I moved the tarp enough to get a full view of the animal. I felt sad. Not so much because this animal had been killed and would soon be cooked and eaten, but that it had perhaps been in the wrong place at the wrong time. I pictured the deer in the forest and the possible events that led up to the animal being shot, deciding which tracks to take, which grass to eat, which other deer to follow. Or could I attach something human to it, something heroic, stepping in front of others to take the shot, or standing still long enough to let the others flee? You take the hit and let the others live. I took out my journal and jotted down some notes about accidental sacrifice, one which somehow takes a person to another plane of existence, because in the song, the person would sacrifice himself without any motivation. Not for love or money or reward, it would just happen. Wrong place, right time, followed by a moment of purity, caught in the headlights and not jumping out of the way. Riding in the pickup, looking at the deer's unblinking eye, I was overcome with the joy of being alive. It was brilliant out here. I was so lucky. I wasn't restringing guitars in a hot workshop. I wasn't sleeping the morning away. I wasn't sitting on my bed and composing rubbish songs. I wasn't stoned or drunk. I wasn't wondering when life would begin, when I would finally grow up and become an adult. Life had begun. I was an adult. I had a family. I had Eris, maybe, and I had Churchill. My family didn't have to be nuclear and perfect. It didn't have to be uniform and standard. It just needed to be comprised of people who cared about each other and who would offer lots of support. Yes, of course Churchill and I could raise Eris if he was up for it. I leaned forward and placed my left hand on the animal's neck. It was very warm.
You take the hit to let the others live. An accidental hero, but what a thing to give. And And now we are both passengers, letting go the two of us, tranquil in your silence you seem so calm on this still afternoon. You're still warm, but like a thunderstorm, you'll be getting cold soon. No memorial or ticker tape parade, no one giving thanks for sacrifices made, but still we are both passengers, letting go the two of us, different destinations to await. You're so kind on this still afternoon. You're still warm, like a thunderstorm. You'll be getting cold soon.
Nice one. I think that's a lovely note to end on. Thanks everybody for watching. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to donate if you would like to. Nobody is forced to, but it's a wonderful cause. And thanks to Joel for just about everything, I think.
Thanks to Cam for writing the book and getting this project started. It was a pleasure to be a part of. Like I said, this is the only second time that we've done this, but I think we should do it again at some point.
I think so. Let's wait and see what the feedback is. So, well, it looks pretty positive.
Tracy's clapping. So thanks Tracy. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Hi to my mum and Papa and June are watching as well. Any of your family watching, Cam?
Well, I hope they are.
Wanna
Hi
say-
to everybody in Perth.
You want to say hi to your mum?
No. Yes, of course. Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, and stay safe, guys. Take care of yourselves. Practice social distancing.
Yep. This is not that we don't like each other. We are trying to do the right thing.
Exactly. Don't worry, we disinfected our hands, and there is an air filter in here. That is not a lie. And we'll speak to you guys soon.